She came alone, my sister smirked. Then a stranger walked in and said, "Sorry, I'm late, love." They all went silent. The laughter hit me before I even stepped fully inside. It wasn't joyous. It was cruel, sharp, echoing in a hall that was never meant to be mine. "Look at her," my sister's voice cut through. "She came alone." The smirk on her face was almost rehearsed, like she had been waiting for this exact moment. My humiliation delivered on cue. I straightened my dress, lifted my chin, and gave her nothing. Not a flinch, not a word, just silence. Because tonight wasn't about walking in alone. It was about how I would leave. And then, like a line I had scripted into the play myself, the doors opened behind me. A deep voice said, clear and confident, "Sorry I'm late, love." The laughter stopped. The smirk vanished. The silence was louder than any insult they had ever thrown at me. But that moment wasn't luck. It was the final act of a story I'd been writing for months. Once I thought family was unshakable. Blood, loyalty, promises. I thought love meant safety. He proved me wrong first. My husband, now ex, was charming enough to fool anyone, including me. The kind of man who could hold your hand while hiding a knife behind his back. And she, my sister, was the one who pushed it in. The two of them thought they were clever, that stolen glances were invisible, that whispers in locked rooms dissolved into air. But I knew long before the evidence appeared. It started small. He'd come home late, smelling not of work, but of her perfume. A laugh that wasn't mine lingered on his clothes. Then her sudden distance, my own sister, who avoided Mayet, glowed whenever his name came up. Told myself I was imagining it until I wasn't. One evening, his phone lit up while he showered. Her name, her words, "Can't wait until she's out of the way. We'll finally be free." I didn't cry. Not then, not in front of them. Tears would have been a gift, proof that they had broken me. Instead, I memorized every word, every time, every detail. And Ismailed when I realized they hadn't taken something from me. They had handed Meath a weapon. Revenge isn't fire. It isn't rage. It's ice, cold, precise. I didn't confront them. I let them believe I was blind, stupid, docile. I played the part of the abandoned wife, the oblivious sister. Meanwhile, I visited lawyers. I traced every financial thread, every joint account, every hidden asset. He thought I didn't understand money. He was wrong. And my sister, she thought she could flaunt my betrayal quietly, that her wedding would be a triumph over me. So I gave her space, enough rope to hang herself. Piece by piece, I dismantled him. I pulled my name from his debts, moved assets into my name alone. When he filed for divorce, thinking he'd leave me with scraps, he discovered I had already gutted the accounts. Every luxury he clung to, gone, the car repossessed, the house no longer his, and the business he tried to hide exposed, seized for unpaid taxes he thought I'd never find. By the time he realized what I had done, it was too late. All he had left was her, and she, glowing with her stolen victory, invited me to her wedding, an open display of triumph. She expected me to come alone, bitter, humiliated. I accepted. The hall glittered with lights and shallow smiles. Their laughter was loud, rehearsed, pointed. I let them have it for a moment. The smugness, the whispers. Then the doors opened behind me. The man stepped in. Tall, sharp suit, presence, commanding silence. "Sorry I'm late, love," he said, kissing my cheek. The gasp from the crowd was almost sweet. My sister's face palled. Sheikh knew him. Because he wasn't just anyone. He was the investor. The one who had quietly bought out the last piece of her fiance's struggling company. The company they had planned to live on. The one now, entirely in my control. I turned to her slowly, meeting her stunned stare. "You look surprised," I murmured. Her fiancé shifted uncomfortably. He hadn't told her. Of course he hadn't. She thought she was marrying into stability. Instead, she was marrying into debt, into a future that belonged to me. The room was silent, every smile wiped clean. That was the moment I had been waiting for. Not the man at my side, not the whispers, but the silence. The silence where truth settled in. They had taken my trust, my love, my family, and I had taken everything else. I walked into that wedding alone, but I left with my head high, their world crumbling behind me. And as I stepped into the night, the laughter still gone, I finally smiled, because betrayal had taught me something priceless. Revenge isn't loud, it's quiet, calculated, and when it lands, it leaves nothing but silence.